from batch 1. And I want to thank each one of you that you all showed up. And I hope that for the next 4 to 5 days, you all will have a very meaningful and a beautiful moments. And especially, you'll get to learn from a prestigious esteemed speaker, Venerable Geshe Lhakdor. And maybe have a big round of applause to each one of you for showing up here. As we all know that Geshe usually stays very busy, has a very hectic schedule. But then with only one request, when our Shila, which is when we requested Geshe, he spared his precious time for us, especially for the youth of Ladakh, and not only for the youth of Ladakh, but for all the all the people who are actually interested in studying and who wanted to reflect upon themselves. And I am sure that yesterday you all had your own reasons. Some of you might have shared also. And I hope you will fulfill those. And I hope you will self-reflect. And I hope you will get as much as wisdom, immense wisdom from Venerable Geshe Lhakdor. And I hope you all will have questions to ask Geshe. There will be an interactive session, I believe. And before beginning, I would like to share a brief about Geshe Lhakdor. So, Venerable Geshe Lhakdor is the. Okay, give me a moment. Okay, so Venerable Geshe Lhakdor is the director of Library of Tibetan Works and Archives. And if you ever get the chance to visit Dharamshala, you must visit there. I mean, the manuscripts and the digital manuscripts and everything has been worked on at Tibetan LTWA under the guidance of Venerable Geshe Lhakdor. Like when we visited, it was amazing, Geshe. It is truly inspiring, Geshe. Thank you so much. And he has served as His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's official translator for around 15 to 16 years also. And then in 1982, he received his master's degree in English from Punjab University, Chandigarh, and MPhil from Delhi University. Oh, this I get to know, Geshe, today, that you also studied at DU. So he received his Geshe degree from Drepung Losaling Monastic University in 1995. He has worked as a co-translator for several books by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the notable among which are The Way to Freedom, The Joy of Living, and The Dying in Peace, Awakening the Mind, Enlightening the Heart, and The Stages of Meditation, which was the commentary on the Bhavanak Rama. And if I get a chance, it will literally go for a long day if I continue to speak about Geshe, but I would not take much time, Geshe. So now it is your Geshe. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing up again.
Good morning. Why do we say good morning instead of saying bad morning? Why? Why? Have you ever thought about it? We say good morning because we want to be good. So when you say good morning, that itself is a Dharma teaching. Good morning. Yes, good morning to you. Good morning to me. Good morning. Number one. Number two, if you look at your name, among you, is there anybody who has a name called Yamraj? Yamraj, the messenger of the death, or Kalabut, ghost, evil ghost. Anybody having such a name? Naina. So you also try to get good names, right? Aapka naam kya hai? What is your name? Yima Dolma, the liberating sun. Your name? Huh? Diji Ongo. See? One who is powerful, of peace and happiness. Diji Changju, the precious enlightened one. See? You all try to get a good name. Can you tell me the meaning of your name?
Means wide.
Say it, your name.
Narrowing.
The great difficulty, we are all friends, but I had a great difficulty talking about her name, right? So anyway, the point that I'm making is that we say good morning, good evening, good afternoon. We get good names, right? So therefore, just as we say good morning, the whole morning you should try to be good. Otherwise, don't say good morning. And as much as possible, try to lead a life which is matching your name. You know? If you have very good name, but what you do is destructive, negative, then it is not matching the name, right? So the retreat is over now. There's enough, right? Enough. If you practice it, it's really enough, right? So now number one, I really appreciate young people have so much energy. They want to use this energy. So we are jumping, singing, dancing, so many things we have to do. Maybe going to school, so many things. But you have kind of sacrificed your time and made it to come here and attend this very intensive course. I say intensive course because you have to get a little bit early, do meditation, then attend all these sessions, then discussions, right? So it's a really full day. So that's a kind of commitment and also a sacrifice, which is very much appreciated by me. Thank you. Why I say thank you? Because if you do good, I'm not expecting anything from you. If you do good, it's good for you. It's good for everybody. It's good for your parents. It's good for the Ladakis. It's good for the country, nation, whatever. And at the end of the day, it's really good for you in this life. And if their future lives, it's good, going to be good. So, so the decision that you made to come here to attend this 4 days retreat is not only not a waste, but it is going to be very, very meaningful for the rest of your life. Not that because I have so many good things to say, but your commitment together, we are trying to make big changes in our life. And that change is not through artificial injection or taking narcotics or drugs, not like that. It is gradual transformation through practice, through reflection. It is step by step, gradual, to give you long lasting, stable, unchanging habits. If you try to achieve something quickly, sometimes you might achieve it, but the end result is not necessarily good. Right? Right? So therefore, may I ask you a question? What are you expecting from this retreat? What are you expecting? Anybody can say it. What are you expecting? I'm asking this question. Yeah, good. Mm.
Yeah. So I have a basic purpose, Gisela, to understand my emotions and my mind a little bit better.
Yes, good, good. Any other?
Any other? Maybe.
Yeah, here.
Shantideva Geshe Shantideva Geshe.
Mm.
So I want to take some few takeaways I can really apply in my day-to-day life.
Get ready of?
My day-to-day life, Geshe.
Acha, takeaways.
Some basic takeaways so that I can apply whole. I don't think I would be able to do
Yeah, yeah.
some solid
Yes,
information.
yes, yes. So to get these takeaways, whenever I'm saying something, if you find something that you really think will be useful, you jot it down. Otherwise, the takeaways will not come jumping. Take away, take away. They'll not come like that. Right? One more. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So, whatever we do, like attending this retreat, we come with an expectation to how to lead a good, happy, successful life, right? Meaningful life. right? Do you all want happiness?
Yes.
I'm sure you all want happiness, right? For how many days you want happiness? Huh? Forever, for many lives to come, as long as possible, right? So I'll now ask the organizers to write down your name and get your signature. During the retreat session, you said, I want happiness as long as possible, right? Then they will make a nice card, print it out, and give it to you. Then you put it on your living room. I want happiness as long as possible, right? But when you say, I want happiness as long as possible, that is just a demand. You're expressing your want. Just by expressing your want, you're not going to get that happiness. So, from where do you think, in other words, what do you think is the main source of that long lasting happiness? Now, takeaway will start coming, okay? So, from where do you think is the main source of main? I said main. Little bit will come from here, from there, right? What do you think is the main source of their long-lasting happiness? Huh? Inner peace. What else? Anybody else? What do you think is the main source of their long-lasting happiness? Huh? Yeah. ऐसे बोलने से मुझे पता नहीं. I'm really very angry with the organizers now. It looks like they did not give me good breakfast. So, what, what do you think is the main source of long-lasting happiness? Having a good intention, inner peace, having a good intention, then what? Huh? Satisfied mind, huh? Acceptance, gratitude. So basically, you can give 100,000 different answers, right? But at least in accordance with these four answers, you are basically pointing towards the mind. You did not say main source of my happiness is my parents. You didn't say, right? Although you love your parents very much. You did not say main source of happiness is money, although you need money. Everybody needs money, right? It's interesting, right? You said it. I did not put word in your mouth. आपने बोला है ना, उसको याद रखो. You said it. You said, basically you're saying the main source of long-lasting happiness is from within. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean that net and don't do any work, and then the from the space and come into your mouth? Are you saying something? अब इतना बेवकूफ तो नहीं है, you're not so stupid to say things like that, right? You're not saying you don't have to work, but you are saying that's why I use the word main. The main source of little bit pleasure, little bit of happiness will come from food, clothing, money, friends, relatives. But the main source of long-lasting happiness is from your mind. So that means, and your answer is correct. इसको लॉक किया जाए. ठीक है ना? So main source of your happiness is from within mind. That is correct, absolutely correct. But it's not so clear when you say the main source of long-lasting happiness is from within. It's my mind. You're correct, but it's not so clear. Can you explain a little bit? What do you mean when you say that? Now you're going to get a little bit complicated. What do you mean? So basically, at least according to me, when you say that the main source of long-lasting happiness is your mind, It means your happiness, your suffering is very much dependent on your way of thinking, your mental outlook, your mental attitude. Remember this. This is very important. How much suffering, how much happiness you will experience is very much dependent upon your way of thinking, your mental outlook. Now, your mental outlook, it does not mean that all your happiness can be obtained just by a good thought. I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying all your sufferings can be removed just by a good thought. I'm not saying that. But it's primarily dependent on your way of thinking, your right mental outlook. If you have the right mental outlook, you will be able to find the truth, the reality of happiness, of suffering. And because of this right mental outlook, if it is happiness, you will further develop it, cultivate it, and cherish it and nourish it. If it is suffering, then you try to reduce it, shun it, because you have the right mental outlook. You have the capacity to see what is right, what is wrong, without making unreasonable judgment. So, based on your correct perception, you'll be able to do that. Right? For example, now look at me, okay? Are you angry? Are you angry? No, no, maybe not angry because you know what I'm doing. I'm a little bit acting. But you might get a little bit suspicion and sense that is Geshe angry and is he cursing me, judging by my appearance? But what actually I was doing was chanting Tara Mantra, right? So the point that I'm making is you should not immediately come to a conclusion, make a judgment depending upon how you see things, because evidence is deceptive. दिखता है वो तो होता नहीं है. Take time to see the reality as it is, without exaggeration and without denigration. Right? That's very, very important. Very, very important. Because if you unnecessarily, you know, project something, and then based on this projection, if you try to conclude that person is right or wrong, things like that, you may go wrong. Right? Then my point of saying that your happiness suffering dependent primarily upon your mind is, for example, today we have very bright sunshine, right? So inside is really comfortable right now. But outside, if you go, the sun is very hot. So if you go out and when you feel the sun is very hot, what should be your mental outlook? Let us make this point clear. What should be your mental outlook? There are two ways to deal with that hot sun. One is you should say, yeah, it is always like this around this time in Ladakh, right? So you accept it. And if you don't like the heat, don't just stand there like a stupid person. If you go out, then take your umbrella or go into the shade, whatever, you protect yourself by whatever means you can do that. So that's the right mental outlook. The wrong mental outlook is instead of trying to protect yourself, you start cursing the sun. Damn, this sun is so hot. I actually expected a little bit cooler, but it's so hot. You're angry. And just by your getting angry, will the sun say, Madam, sorry. I'll become little bit cooler. Will it? That's what I'm saying. That's the point I'm making. So the point that I'm making is there are things you can change, there are things you cannot change. So things which you cannot change, there's no point lamenting and cursing and feeling sad with this that thing. Instead, instead, you change your attitude. So what is outside of you is impossible to change. How the sun shines, how hot it will be, when it's going to rain, you know, how people are going to react, what they're going to say about you. For example, people are saying bad things, but you can't their mouth. ये मेरे पीछे में बोल रहा है. This girl, this boy is saying so many nasty things about me. I'm going to seal her mouth. Will you be able to do that? So you'll not be able to. Some people say good things, some people say bad things. People like that. So things outside of you, you have not much control. So the one thing over which you have control is how you react to that changes, that events, that situation. How would you react? With the proper understanding, if you react nicely, nothing can harm you. If somebody says you're a dog, is it necessary for you to start barking? किसी ने बोला आपको खुदा फिर तुरंत बोलो आओ आओ नहीं करना है ना. And someone else says you are Buddha enlightened. Will you get enlightened? नहीं ना तो फर्क नहीं पड़ता. What other people say doesn't make much difference. It makes difference only when you take it seriously. So therefore, if somebody is really angry and saying things against you, and because of that, if you also get angry, that means that person is now able to control you. आपके मन में कब्जा कर लिया, they are able to control you. But if you not become a colluder with negative things, you will not be affected. So therefore, it is so important to understand how human mind functions, how nature functions, how can we, if you properly understand the ups and downs in life, the changes in nature, especially the impermanence changes, you can go through all these changes very easily, like a trained swimmer, surfer, a good surfer, a good swimmer. Doesn't really matter the wave is high. I had the opportunity to go to many beaches, like very famous Miami Beach, and the beach in Mumbai. When I go for such talks and teaching, then they say, "Well, let us go for a walk." So I got this opportunity. So there, when I watch the surfers, big waves come, somebody, out there swimming, then big waves come, then, oh my goodness, that particular wave is not drowned and killed that person. No, because he or she is a good swimmer. She rides on the next wave and comes back. So impermanence and change is like a wave, not necessarily good, not necessarily bad. And if you know how to ride on it, then you can ride on the waves of impermanence and do good things. And you will not be drowned by the waves of suffering. Right? So therefore, whether you want to be happy or whether you want to suffer, it is primarily in your hand. It's not in the hand of Buddha. It's not in the hand of your enemy. It's not in the hand of your parents, relatives, however good they are. There is nobody who will catch hold of your hand and throw you into heaven. You know? Similarly, there is nobody who will catch hold of your leg and drag you into hell. Even your worst enemy cannot do that unless you collude with them. So much of the sufferings that we encounter is because of lack of knowledge. Number one, lack of knowledge, ignorance. And second, inaction. Many times we suffer because of lack of knowledge. Many times we suffer because we have knowledge but we don't practice inaction. Right? So the one that you need to remove ignorance, gain knowledge, and then having gained knowledge, you have to act. So therefore, there is big difference between knowledge and information. Today, we very proudly call ourselves as people who are living in the age of information, right? But unfortunately, much of the information is junk information. How much time you are wasting on junk information? Sara, आपके mobile phone में, oh, they're all there in your mobile phone. So don't waste your time after junk information. By continuously watching that mobile, आपको क्या मिलेगा? What will you get by constantly scrolling and watching that little phone? What will you get? मोबाइल फोन को देखते रहो, देखते रहो, देखते रहो। कुछ मिले या ना मिले, एक बड़ा सा चश्मा मिलेगा। एक मोटा एक मोटा सा so what I'm saying is you keep on watching your mobile phone. It is not sure what you're going to get. One thing that is sure is you're going to get a thick eyeglass, right? So therefore, even in the case of right information, you there's no need for you to get all the information in the world. There's so many things to eat in the world. It's necessary that you have to eat all of these things? No need. So number one, try to get the right information which is relevant to you, necessary for you. But that information that you go through listening, reading, and hearing will become knowledge only if you undertake some reflection, thinking, contemplation. So the Buddhist process of practice is first listen, read, you'll get some information, maybe correct information. Then the second level where you need to practice is think for yourself. You are also a human being. You also have clever brain, clever intelligence. है ना? So therefore, you should think, contemplate, reflect, and develop conviction. Yes, that's what Guruji said. I also thought about it. It seems correct. That's what I read in the book. I also reflect on it. It seems correct. तो इसको भी लॉक किया जाए, conviction. No, even after the conviction that this is right, this is true. But unless you get habituated with that knowledge and make it part of your life, it will be not much help. So therefore, third level is meditation. Meditation means integrating it in your life, making it a part of life. For example, compassion. For example, compassion. The definition of compassion is how nice if all sentient beings are without suffering. You hear about it, about 3, 4 types of compassion and the definition of compassion. Then you reflect on it. Then you say, yes, this is very important. But the next important question is, this is very important, but do I have it? And then you realize you don't have the compassion. Therefore, now you need to repeatedly practice it so that you become a compassionate person. That's the result of meditation. For example, I'll give you an example, very convincing example. For example, if you are very thirsty, for the first time you came to lay, and you are very thirsty, the sun is very hot, and you have no idea where the water is available. So you need to ask somebody, the local people, where is water available? So that local will tell you the water is available 2 kilometers from here. That is hearing. That is listening where water is available. That was useful, right? That was useful. But did that quench your thirst? That's what I'm saying. Just listening, just thinking, just listening is not enough. Bus. You know Jara number bus? 2 legs, Jara number. Go by Jara number bus. 11 number bus. Walking. You walk. You walk 2 kilometers. So you made a lot of progress. Once you had it, now you have walked and you reach. You walked or took a car, whatever. Now you reach near the water. You're able to see it. Made a lot of progress, right? But not stupid person will say, I have seen the water, thank you very much. Because you have not drunk the water right now. So what you need to do, third thing is, you need to bend down, use your hand or cup, whatever, and drink the water. And it is only by drinking the water that your thirst will be quenched. So therefore, information is important. But that information should be gradually turned into knowledge. Knowledge is important, but that should be gradually turned into wisdom. I'll give you another example of these three processes. For example, hearing or listening is really like reading all the books about how to build a ship, a boat. You read so many books, what kind of ship you want to build. You get a lot of information. Oh, this is the way, right? So information is useful, but still you don't know how to build a ship. Knowledge is that process based on which you'll be able to build a ship. It's a big development, right? First you got the information, now you're able to build the ship. Yes, मैंने उसको बना दिया. Big progress. But still, you have not much clear idea how are you going to use that ship? How are you going to protect that ship from sinking? So it's the wisdom that helps the ship to not sink. It's the wisdom that helps you use the ship not for transporting arms and ammunitions, but for transporting public. So it's the wisdom. Clear? समझ में आ गया? ये कहानी है ना इधर भी. समझ में आ गया? जी हाँ, समझ में आ गया. सब कुछ समझ में आ गया? जी हाँ, सब कुछ समझ में आ गया. क्या समझा? सर कुछ नहीं समझा. It's not like that, huh? Have you understood? Yes. Have you understood everything? Yes, I understood everything. What did you understand? I did not understand anything. Should not be like that. But the good thing is these are all nicely recorded and they are making it available, I think, every other day or something like that. Very, very efficient. Very efficient. So you can listen to that again and again. How many times you eat for your body? At least 3 times, you know? Breakfast, lunch, dinner, in between also tea, some cookies, chit chat, things like that, right? How many times you eat for your mind? कुछ भी नहीं. So the many types of sufferings that we encounter clearly show the poverty of the mind. So through such practice, you need to feed your mind regularly. Feeding your mind means reading a little bit, thinking a little bit, changing your attitude a little bit. Morning, right in the morning when you get up, sit quietly a little bit, and then think, I am lucky. I'm able to wake up again. Don't take it for granted. I'm really lucky. I'm able to wake up again, not as a dog or a cow or a mosquito, but as a human being. So I'll do something that will help others make happy, that will make myself happy and meaningful, whether you're studying or doing any particular job. So with that motivation, you should wake up. That should be the first thing. Just watching your mobile phone or TV, that should not be the first. So with that motivation, then you go to work, go to your study, things like that. But many times fail. We may not be able to live up to our promise. We made a good motivation, but in the course of the day, you meet unfortunately nasty people. Because of that, you had to pick up a fight, right? You get angry. And then at the end of the day, again, you should reflect back. Was I able to live in accordance with the promise that I made in the morning? So sometimes, yes, you can be in accordance with the promise. So then you rejoice. Yes, I made it. Yes, I'll do the same thing tomorrow. I'll do the same thing for the rest of my life. That's how you collect virtue, how you collect punya, right? Now, in case if you failed, don't get dejected. We are not Buddha. We are ordinary people. We fail, and that failure is not necessarily just you because of other circumstances, factors, environment. So realize that I picked up a fight and I did not enjoy. I was not happy. I'm sure that other person also not happy. Is there anybody who said that today I was very angry, so I really enjoyed the day? Huh? नहीं है ना? Is there anybody who said I was really angry, so my face looked so beautiful? नहीं है ना? You all want to be beautiful. You all want to be handsome. But if you get angry, you become ugly. That's why we are saying practice the teaching of the Buddha. If you want to become handsome, if you want to become beautiful, if you want to become rich, even if you want to become rich, I'm telling you, these days you need to be a little bit realistic. Before you talk about enlightenment, you need to talk about this realistic things in your life. If you practice Buddha's teaching properly, rich, I'm telling you. This is important because many people think, oh yeah, Buddhist teaching is very good, but this teaching will not give me food. सोचता है ना हम लोग, why should I study Tibetan language or Ladakhi language? This will not give me food. Stupid, wrong, wrong. So many tourists are coming to Ladakh. Why? Not because you are especially handsome, beautiful. It is because you have peaceful culture. They come to see the nature, plus the people who live in harmony with the nature. Well, generally speaking, we are not saying that we are superhuman, but we are comparatively we are peaceful, nice. That's why people come and you get money. See? And because you all want to do something good, that's why the organizers also let you please come. You may have to make a little bit contribution, but most of the things we'll take care. See? And then more importantly, if you don't lead this good life, fight with somebody, get angry in your home, wherever, then your blood pressure will increase. You will get sick quickly. You will be separated from your family. I mean, it's easy to get angry. Say, I don't want to stay here for a minute. I want to go. Where will you go? Where will you go? We make stupid decisions when we are under the influence of negative emotions. Where will you go? Wherever you go, if you take with you this way of this negative way of life, you will have problem everywhere. Right? And if you don't have this moral discipline, then whatever little money that you make, you use it for gambling, you use it for drinking, you use it for so many things where you can throw your money. Now, these days, unfortunately, the world is a commercial world. So many types of shops are open there. Everybody saying, come here, buy this, bring your money here, bring your money there. They are ready to, not necessarily with bad motivation, but they want money, so they know how to attract you and catch you. Makre ki jal mein jaldi. है ना? So therefore, whatever income you make, it's so easy to throw away. You may be making, let us say, at least 40,000 Indian rupees a month. If you don't have the discipline and live in a five-star hotel, you know how much it costs for one night? At least 20,000 one night. So where is the money now? So it's not how much money you are making, it's how you are also using, how you are also spending. And there are people who not necessarily rich, but they're always satisfied. They always have things to eat, place to live. They're very happy. And there are some people who always talk about money, and always poor because they don't know how to use it. So this kind of moral practice to become good is not just meaningless religious talk. It is related to the peace and happiness of your life. And the bitter truth is take away. And the bitter truth is unless you help yourself, nobody will be able to help you. This is the bitter truth. And if you help yourself, others also come to help you. If you educate yourself properly, you become knowledgeable in a particular field. People will come. You don't have to invite; they'll come. Oh, she's a software, good software engineer. They'll all come to you. The problem with us is in the Tibet, among the Tibetan community. Also, I say this all the time, especially with the young people. They know little bit, but they are not good in any one thing properly. They maybe one or two, but generally speaking, most of us, I think this may be true here also. Young people are like jack of all, master of none. That's why you don't get job. Become good in one thing. The others, if you like, you enjoy, do, okay, it's up to you. But be good in one thing. People will come to you. You don't have to say come. Put a nice board, they'll come to you. Right? Right? What is time now? So therefore, we are supposed to study this book, Bodhicitta, which I will do, which I'll get through. Right now at this stage. You may not be able to understand everything, but for an auspicious imprint, I'll go through as many chapters as possible. But the most important thing is interaction with you. So therefore, first of all, what you need to know is why we are all Buddhist. So why Buddhism is important in your life, especially at this age when there is so much scientific and technological development. If you don't have that knowledge, you might start thinking, oh, Buddhism is taught by Buddha 2,500 years ago. Abhi main kahan pahunch gaya? People are going on the moon. So why you are talking about the teaching that happened 2,500 years ago? Many people start thinking like that. So that's why some people who call themselves advanced and modernized, they think, Buddhism, religion, I'm modernized. What do you mean by modernized? Just by knowing how to make different types of hair, or because you know how to do the catwalk? Huh? Is this the sign, or the resort to smoking or drug? Is this sign of modernization? This is the sign of stupidity. The very concept of modernization is not having high-rise buildings. Many people, when go to big cities, they say, "Oh, very modernized. High-story buildings are there. Nicely paved roads are there. On these nicely paved roads, so many cars and other vehicles are flying. Oh, very modernized." Then if you spend a little bit time there, then they'll find, oh, in this so-called modernized city, so many people are suffering from loneliness. So many people are suffering from depression. Is that modernization? Even if you look at the original meaning of modernization means men, women treated equally. Modernization means respect to the environment. Modernization means people should show more respect in accordance with what people do, not whether they are a prince or princess of a king, not like that. I read it in the book. You see, that's the meaning of modernization. So from that point of view, Buddhism is very, very modernized. Not only modernized, but probably like these days we talk about Gen Z, right? After Gen Z, what? Alpha, then beta, gamma, up to X. Up to X. They are forecasting what will be the situation when it's the time of the beta, and then gamma, and then up to X, you know. They've written books on that. But Buddhism, like in the so-called modern world, we very proudly talk about globalization, right? Globalization is happening very fast. We are all becoming like one or things like that. Are we becoming one? What do you mean by globalization? Globalization is primarily towards business, marketing. Globalization is not happening because of love and compassion. If that was the case, then people should not be fighting right now. It's all over the world is fighting right now. Well, what are you talking about? The Buddhist teaching talks about globalization. It talks about well-being of all things. Imagine. When we say globalization, it's only human beings at the most. That also, as I said, for profit, money making, right? Buddhism, we talk about well-being of all sentient beings, and we call all sentient beings as mother sentient beings, which includes Kiramakura also, insects also, should be kind, compassionate. I mean, so advanced, so advanced. Once read a book where the writer says that Buddha was the greatest scientist that the world has ever produced because he came with an idea how to uproot the root cause of suffering. No scientist has done that. Some scientists explored the sun, some explored the moon, some explored like the nature of human being, things like that, different fields, oceanography, whatever, fish and these small things. But Buddha was the one who tried to indicate the very root of suffering. And he said, ignorance is also suffering. Ignorance is the one which makes us divide among each other, right? And the core teaching of the Buddha is what the Buddha himself had said. He said, do not do anything that is negative, do everything that is positive, completely transform your mind. This is my teaching. In 4 lines, he said, I'm not saying, Buddha said, he said, do not do anything that is negative. What is negative? What is positive? Some people will immediately jump to the conclusion and say, negative and positive is dependent upon the thinking of the people. There's no one yardstick to judge it, right? So when Buddha said, do not do anything, that is negative means anything that directly, indirectly harms other sentient beings. That is negative. Anything, any of your physical, verbal, mental action that directly, indirectly harms other sentient beings is negative. So he said, don't do anything. He did not say, do this. This you can do. This you cannot do. He said, anything that directly, indirectly harms other sentient beings, that is negative. Therefore, don't do anything that's. The second thing he said is, do the virtuous practices completely, thoroughly. Do the good things completely, thoroughly. That means when it comes to developing love, developing compassion, developing bodhicitta, and host of other good things, do it completely, do it thoroughly. That means when you develop compassion, the motivation should be good, actual implementation should be good, and then finally you should dedicate it. May the result of this compassion that I generated become a cause to enlightenment for all sentient beings. Perfect practice. Now here there is one possible misunderstanding. When you hear such teachings from Buddha or other teachers who say, oh, the most important thing in religious practice, be kind-hearted, be compassionate. Then some people say, oh, the core of the Buddha's teaching is to be kind-hearted. Then what these monks are doing in the monasteries? They're studying for 17, 20 years. Why they're wasting time? Because all you need to do is be kind-hearted. So therefore, Buddha is also don't do anything that's bad, do everything good, completely nicely. And the third line is just discipline, transform your mind completely, completely transform your mind, completely discipline your mind. So that is, in order to do good things, in order to avoid doing bad things, in order to be able to do good things, you need to study, train your mind. It is through knowledge that you will be able to shun bad things and you will be able to cultivate good things, completely transform your mind. You need to study. That is why this kind of it's so important. Study is important because if you don't know, you will not be able to know how to do it, right? And then the fourth line says, "This is my teaching. Don't do anything negative. Do everything positive. Completely transform your mind. This is my teaching." Clear? Now you know what the Buddha's teaching is. This is my teaching. Okay, I'll stop here now. You ask questions. It's your time to bombard me, attack me. You can ask any questions you want. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but we need to find out. How many of you are attending the second one also? You attended the first. I can see you also. So number of you are attending it again, which is very good. Okay. Yeah, there are questions, so many questions. Oh, those who attended. Okay, very good, very good.
Hello. Hello.
Get up, get up. Don't be lazy.
Hello. Geshe Lhakdor.
Uh,
My caution is regarding you just mentioning that regarding information, right?
uh,
So it's regarding unwanted information. It's
yes,
related to
yes. Yeah. Because some of this information may not be necessarily destructive, but they will distract your mind. They'll waste your mind. Some of them are really harmful. Some of them not that harmful, but they'll just waste your time. Right? Okay. And nowadays, because of artificial intelligence, they make so many interesting things. People like feel like watching it. It's just wasting time. Get up, get up, get up.
Question to you is what is wisdom and knowledge? What's the main difference? Because wisdom we talk about a lot. Ki,
Yeah, as I already mentioned, knowledge means you get some information about different things, you know it, you understand that is knowledge. Wisdom is experience. Not only knowledge, but based on experience, then you know this is bad. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So to the third question, can I add something?
Yes, yes, please.
Many of you must have heard the difference between knowledge and wisdom.
Mm.
Knowledge is knowing that the tomato is a fruit.
Mm.
Wisdom is not putting out it on a fruit plant. You know, that sums up.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yes,
Mm.
there are lots of technological advancements right now, Gisela. So there's a movie that came up recently, Oppenheimer, Gisela. So uh, it uh, um, it portrayed the discovery of the potential of nuclear energy.
Mm.
So the the knowledge is like the potential of the nuclear energy. Gisela. So
Mm.
what potential it can
Yes,
give us.
yes, yes.
But then wisdom is whether to use it to make a
Exactly.
nuclear bomb or to
Exactly.
power it, to produce
Exactly.
power and electricity. That is
Good, very good.
and
Yeah, I also mentioned that knowledge is how to build a ship. Wisdom
yeah,
is how to make sure that the ship does not sink.
I also have a question, Gisela.
Uh,
So many times when we think of being kind and doing good to others, Gisela, we face with a lot of helplessness, Gisela, and
Face
helplessness, Gisela, helplessness.
helplessness.
Yeah, and that sometimes personally gives us a lot of guilt and Gisela, because we are not able to do help others to our full potential. So how to deal with such
That's
helplessness?
the reason you have to get enlightened. When you're an ordinary human being, our powers are limited, our capacities are limited, right? But that's why, please sit down. So that's why they say there is a difference between empathy and compassion. There is a difference between empathy and compassion. Empathy is feeling what other people are feeling. Pain, you also feel pain and sit there. Compassion is not just feeling other people's pain, but action. So when you do the action, even if it is just giving a glass of water, when you do the action, then you don't suffer from burnout. If you only have empathy, you might suffer from burnout. Because you feel the pain, and as you mentioned, you feel helplessness, and then you get dejected and experience emotional burnout. But if you do whatever you are able to do, then you get sense, yes, I played my role. I could not do much, but I did. So you get that satisfaction, and there will be no burnout. So that's why today many nurses, doctors who are suffering from burnout are attending Buddhist meditation classes. Yeah. Okay.
Please raise your hand, and while questioning, please get up.
good morning, Geshela.
Mm.
My question for you is that how to overcome constant fear and anxiety, even if I try to do meditation, yoga, even if I self introspect, and at the end of the day, I'm like overthinking and fearing that I might die tomorrow. And
There are different kinds of fear. One fear is realistic. One fear is useless. Realistic fear means if you are chased by a mad dog, there fear is good. And without fear, if you stand there, the dog will bite you. So it's important to have fear. Now there are other, fears which are useless. For example, you might have experienced this. I've experienced this many times. When you fly in an aeroplane, suddenly there is a big turbulence. Then you get fear, and so much fear that just you hold tightly on the arms of the chair. Stupid. if the whole aeroplane is going to get down, what is use of my holding on the arms? So that is useless. That's useless. So you should distinguish between useful fear and useless fear. Number one. Number two, if you do whatever possible, good things, whatever possible, then you don't have to fear, even if you die today, even if you die tomorrow. Because death is only the death of the body. There's no death of the mind. If you think death is the end of everything, then you might develop some fear. But on the other hand, you don't have to develop any fear. It's no problem. So therefore, in the Buddhist teaching also say, the right fear is if you develop fear, or if I'm unable to do all these amazing practices, if I die, then that's a great loss. With this kind of fear, if you do some Dharma practice, that's useful. That's why when we, as a Buddhist, when we take refuge to Buddha Dharma Sangha, why we take refuge? Because we have fear, we have suffering. So because of this fear to be born in the samsara, because of this fear of suffering in the samsara, you take refuge to Buddha Dharma Sangha. So that kind of fear helps you to take a step, come out of samsara. That is useful, right? And then also don't do too much overthinking. Think about those things which are reasonable, which makes you happy. For example, if you think about love, think about compassion, that will make you happy. But if you let your mind go wild and think about it, so many things, it's useless, right? So sometimes don't just keep on sitting and thinking. Just do something that's useful. That will stop overthinking. Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
My question is, while doing meditation, my mind becomes more restless. How to overcome that?
Yes, that's natural. Your mind is not becoming overless because of meditation. Restlessness was there with you, with me, with everybody. And you only recognize it during meditation. I remember one Western nun who came to me and said, Sheila, before I did meditation, I was a nice person. After I did meditation, I become a bad person. Which is not true. You are what you are before meditation, after meditation, you are what you are. But before meditation, you did not think at all who you are, how the negative emotions are coming or not, positive emotions are coming or not. You did not analyze at all. But as soon as you start focusing and do some meditation, then you realize 100,000 thoughts are coming. Right? Right? So if you ask your mind to focus on one book, the mind will not be able to focus on the book. Instead, momo. Your mind will be focusing on the momo, your mind will be focusing on chomin, your mind will be focusing on the picnic that you had last time. So many things will come. It's natural. So therefore, then you have to say, no, I'm not thinking about momo. No, I'm not thinking about picnic. Just thinking about this book. You need to do this again and again. Gradually, then the distraction will go away and you will be able to focus on it. I tell you the story of one Indian Brahmin, great scholar, Indian Brahmin. So he wanted to gain some supernatural feats, right? So I asked many people that I want to gain certain supernatural feats. So I don't know which teacher I should approach. He had hard time finding the right teacher. Oh, then somebody said, "Oh, there's one very good teacher in Tibet. Go there." It was not me. Okay. So good teacher was there. Go there, right? So he took this arduous journey to go to Tibet, and finally he met the Tibetan teacher. Then he said, "I want to gain this supernatural power. Can you please teach me?" He said, "It's very easy. It's very easy. All you need to do is chant this formula. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dhammam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami." That's it. But one condition, the one condition is when you recite this formula, never ever think about monkey. Then this Indian teacher said, "This is a very simple thing. I'm such a great scholar. Why should I think about monkey?" But anyway, the Tibetan teacher was not giving any further teaching, so he had to go. And then once in India, he started chanting this Budam Sharanam Gacchami. Every time he chanted it, monkeys were coming from all sides. So that's called monkey mind, you see. Mind is like that. Mind has a rebellious nature. If you ask them to do something, so you have to be very gentle, very gentle. And with repeated practice, then the mind will listen to you. It's not like the body. If the body sit quiet, if not sitting, give a stick, the body will go quiet. But the mind, you cannot handle mind harshly. You need to convince mind with reasons, with logics. Then the mind will listen. Okay?
Tashilila Geshe-la,
Mm.
Geshe-la, you mentioned that many a times suffering shows poverty of mind.
Yes.
So if we relate mind with having a right mental outlook,
Mm.
does that mean that right mental outlook will help in ending suffering?
Gradually. There's no push button enlightenment, of course, but gradually, yes. And how to cultivate right mental outlook, I gave a long explanation, right? Because for I give you an example. For example, some of these Tibetan Buddhist masters who were the masters of mind training, when they hear even the word suffering, they would just laugh. Suffering? What is this? What is it? By this, they are saying the so-called suffering is how you look at things. So these masters who have right frame of the mind, if there is rain, they say in Tibet, small population, big land. So when you do long journey traveling, you are crossing several plains, with no man inside. So under such cases, if there's a rain, then the teachers they'll say it's very good. Now we can travel. No robber will come, no thieves will come. It's good for the crop. So you just don't get bogged down by thinking only about your conveniences, right? So like that, yeah.
Actually,
Mm.
my question is, what is the meaning of enlightenment first? And secondly,
Meaning of enlightenment.
yes.
Mm.
And secondly, like in the past few centuries, attained enlightenment.
The word enlightenment is a degree. Degree means, for example, you attend this retreat, and by attending, you must have learned many things which you never learned before. That is enlightenment. So you're a little bit more enlightened than before. But then, if you talk about full enlightenment, complete enlightenment, in Buddhism, complete enlightenment means somebody who has removed all the negative emotions and the seeds and the imprints of all the negative emotions. Somebody who has removed the imprint, the seeds, and all the negative emotions. Somebody who is suffering at all. Somebody who is full of peace and happiness. That is called enlightenment, right? What was the second part? Oh, no, because enlightenment is an internal thing. So you can't say who is enlightened, who is not enlightened. Yeah, that's difficult to say. And also, it's so difficult to attain. Probably not in the last few years. Okay.
Shantideva Geshe-la.
Yeah.
So I saw a news that four brothers killed his uncle. That his uncle was trying to abuse their sister.
Mm.
So that four brothers killed
Yeah.
Matlab,
Okay.
uncle, killed that uncle. So the internet was saying that brothers was heroes, but still those four brothers killed that uncle. What do you think about that, Geshe?
Actually, to some extent, the uncle needed such. But on the other hand, if there are four brothers, they can really catch the uncle and give it to police or put him in the jail. That's better than killing him, so that they don't end up committing murder. But it is easier said than done. Under certain situations, people are completely controlled by emotions and then do unthinkable things. So therefore, it is important to not easy. That's what we are always saying: practice, practice, practice. Unless you practice for a long time, it's difficult, right? But if you are somebody who has been practicing, then it is important whenever you find or encounter difficult situations, don't react immediately. Take a step back, see the pros and cons, and then decide what kind of steps you should take. So therefore, now they are saying, according to the scientific findings, originally when is confronted some problem, then they take this step called fight and flight response. Fight and flight. That means if you are able to fight, fight immediately, kill them. If you're not able to do that, flight means run away. So that is what the brain tells you. People used to do that all the time. Right? Now the new scientists they say new neuroplasticity. That means not take that action quickly. Take a step back and think what kind of steps you yeah. Mm.
Geshe,
Hmm.
you said that saying that jack of all trades, master of none,
Hmm.
and you also told us to be good at one thing. But
Hmm.
the complete saying was like jack of all trades, master of none. But after some time, better than master of none. Doesn't that suggest that being good in many areas can sometimes
No, if you are like if you have the capacity to be good in many things, of course. That's why we are talking about getting enlightened. I'm talking about ordinary people, a majority of the people, especially younger generation. They know a little bit from here, a little bit from there, but they don't have complete knowledge or expertise in one thing. That's why they don't get job. That's what I'm saying. But if you're so clever that you're good in here, good in there, you're most welcome. You will become the hero, right? Yeah.
Teshitela Gisela.
Mm.
My question is, if mind is not emotion, if mind is not intelligent, if mind
Mind
is
is what? Not emotion.
if mind is not if mind is not intelligent, if mind is not thought, then what mind is? Just in general.
Mind is the general name. Mind means something that is luminous and cognitive. This general name. Now, within mind, we have emotions, we have intelligence, we have love, we have compassion. So many categories. So they are under this big banner, mind, consciousness. Okay? Mm,
Okay, Geshe.
mm. Mind itself, you cannot say intelligent, you cannot say positive.
My question is chanting mantra considered meditation? If so, can it help us attain enlightenment or
No, no, not just by chanting, you can get enlightenment. Chanting is chanting is chanting is good in the sense that when you do any spiritual practice or any activity that you want to do you do it with full commitment. Full commitment means do it physically, verbally, mentally. Just like when you find your team playing football, you may be the silent cheerer, but you try to cheer the players. How do you do it? Mentally, you support, and physically, you get up. Ah, so now, go there. Rakesh, go here, right? And what will also say, not this way, this way. So physically, verbally, mentally, that shows your total commitment. So similarly, in spiritual practice also, it's important to chanting. Of course, it's important to know the meaning, what you're chanting, that's more important. But even otherwise, chanting, then prostration, going around the temple, and the most important thing is your mind. Physical and verbal actions are important, but there's no guarantee that your physical and verbal spiritual practices become a good spiritual practice unless it has the support of the mind. For example, you may be around the temple. So physically, you're going around the temple, right? And while going around the temple, you may be also chanting Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, right? But your mind may be thinking about money. So after a while, instead of saying Om Mani Padme, you will say money, money, money. So that clearly shows unless your mind is under control, virtues or not virtues, there is no guarantee. But once your mind goes into the spiritual practice, your body will not harm, your mouth will not say anything bad. So mind is the most
Good morning, Yeshila.
important.
Some people are so much into prayers and still they are very aggressive and egoistic. And on the other hand, some people are not into prayers, but they have good intentions and they are mindful about how they speak and what they say. So is it fine to only have good intentions and to be mindfulness and to practice the core teachings of Buddha?
That's more important than chanting. To be compassionate, to be loving, and to practice mind is more important than chanting. So there is actually a drawback, shortcoming in both the Ladakhi, Tibetan, and all traditions. Because they have, I don't know how this tradition spread like maybe from Tibet. People are very devoted. Like, for example, in Tibet, people are very devoted, more than 98% Tibetan population are Buddhist. So you will find them going around the temple, prostration. Prostration should be needed, long prostration, right? So that's why somebody jokingly said, Tibetans are number one in the world in many things. What are they? One is measure the of measure the earth with the length of the body for many, many days. Nobody in the whole world does it. You know? Some people do so much, they bulge here and bulge on the knee everywhere. That's very good. So the point of what I'm saying is, in those days, there are not many schools in Tibet, hardly any schools for education. Monasteries were centers of learning, but they were also only for monks, not for lay people. So what will the lay people do now? And there is so much faith, and their faith is actually honestly speaking, blind faith. But that blind faith is turned out to be good. The religion where you develop blind faith turned out to be a good one, like right. And then, as I said, nobody was disturbing, so it was okay. Now, when you actually face the problem, that blind faith, nobody. So Ladakis, Himalayan regions also picked up that habit. So on the one hand, yes, you do whatever you want. You walk on your head, have your legs up and fix your voice. So your Palas, your fathers, mothers, they are always into chanting. And if they're enjoying it's good. On a superficial level, nobody should disturb it. That's good, right? They are not killing anybody, they are not disturbing anybody. So that's good. But if you're talking about the real Dharma practice, it's changing the mind from the negative to the positive. And as she said, if you're reciting mantra, then easily get, angry. You know, then you're not doing Dharma practice, really, honestly. So now, younger generation, while you maintain some faith for those things, also you do a little bit good for your body, things like that. But the most important thing is study. Here we can some take examples from the Western, when Buddhism spread into Western countries like America and Europe and so forth. What did they do? They picked up two most important features of Buddhism: meditation and Buddhist philosophy. They are not going after supernatural things like and how many gods are there. They are not interested. Maybe some, but so that is good. And in fact, they say this Western, new Western Buddhists, they don't follow these deities and gods. I mean, there are some, but generally speaking, and they meditate and they study the philosophy. Whereas in the actual Buddhist countries in Asia, except some monks in the monasteries, ordinary people, they don't meditate. They don't meditate. They don't study the philosophy. Instead, they think about all the deities about which have no idea. I got Avalokiteshvara initiation. I got Yamantaka initiation. I, I mean, I'm a small person. So it may be like blasphemy if I say things like that. But I, for one, have the right to say things. So I think this is not a good sign. Not a good sign, right? So young people, you should use your brain and do the right thing. No need to discourage the elderly people, but generally you can share. Is this you? That will help them also. Amala, you are reciting so much mantra. And why you are so angry? Is this what His Holiness the Dalai Lama said? She might start thinking, you see. Okay? There's one. There's one here. Yeah. You go ahead.
Good morning, Geshe-la. As one core teaching of Buddha said, do not do anything negative.
Yes.
So I just wanted to hear your opinion. There are so many businesses that are going on. Let's just take an example of chips. So let's say I'm selling chips, which is indirect harming the others.
Exactly.
So what's your not just for chips, so many things like
Yeah.
meat. So what's your opinion about this?
My point is you need to be realistic. One thing is you cannot change the world in one day. You cannot change the world in one day. I wrote down something this morning. So if a question is asked, what kind of perceptions and thoughts and feelings guide us through our life and each day? That's the question related to your question. Once again, what kinds of perceptions and thoughts and feelings guide us through life each day? The answer is not those which give a correct picture of reality, which is very important. But in our daily life, it is not the thoughts and perceptions which give a true picture of reality, but those that helped our ancestors get genes into the next generation. Therefore, in our daily perception, thoughts, we are just carried away by what is available there to survive and pass on to the next generation, be it chips or whatever. So that's the thing. So that's why it is so difficult to change. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's like what you're thinking. I've been thinking. In fact, I said this in many of my talks. Sometimes it hard people what to do. I'm not getting just one person. So you tell them the people everywhere they sell this potato, all kind of chips and Coca-Cola and all these things. We can't blame them also. We can blame public who are using that. Right? They have tutor, actually. They're working together. And then also, those people who sell these things, they have no idea. Maybe they have idea, but they don't care. I mean, aloo chips is nothing. Chips and Coca-Cola, people are selling drugs now, which know will completely destroy the family. And so there are such people, unfortunately. So in such cases, selling potato chips, this we can't be very strict, but those who sell drugs, I spoke on the podcast quite recently. So I'm happy that many people are trying to do something. This should be forcibly stopped. And other, we can't stop everybody enjoying a little bit. So that's why they say sometimes it is good to have delusion. Little bit deluded, enjoy your chocolate, don't talk about enlightenment, can't do this, can't do that, forget about this, just enjoy. It's a little bit of that is okay, right? But you should have this you know, broader awakening about the realities of this constant flooding and supply of junk food. You should think about, do research. Junk food. Junk food. Can you eat junk? Do you think you are intelligent? If you're intelligent, how come you eat junk food? Can you eat food from the garbage? Junk food means those that are there in the garbage bin, right? So therefore the Buddha say, if you are studying Buddhism, you are intelligent. If you eat junk food, maybe not, you're a little bit intelligent, not very intelligent. So it's not just blaming others. You should stop eating those things. On the one hand, you have to, this is what exactly I said earlier. On the one hand, you work so hard to get money, you work like a donkey, then get this money for junk food, which will in turn destroy your health. So this is our stupidity. That's why we need to have more awakening. When we teach secular ethics, we say awareness, compassion, engagement. Many times we suffer because we don't have discernment, we don't have awareness. And when you develop that awareness, naturally you feel responsible for other people, for yourself, becoming more compassionate, then you act. So by attending this retreat, if you reduce your consumption of junk food, big achievement. Nirvana enlightenment बाद में कर सकता है. But before that, you should not die, right? And in fact, I'm these days I've started worrying a little bit myself. I read some of these really amazing scriptures, like oh my goodness, I wish I was much younger, right? So therefore, see, you can do so many things by achieving this retreat. The purpose of Buddhist practice is you may not be able to remove all negative emotions at one go, but you need to see one negative emotion which has a predominant presence in you. Which one is that negative emotion which has been bothering you, troubling you? Are you a very angry person? Are you a very angry person? If so, reduce it. Are you suffering from any obsession? If so, reduce it. Right? That will make you physically healthier, mentally happier. So you can achieve miracles through small changes. A little bit integrity. What the meaning of integrity? Integrity is what you do when nobody is watching. Whether somebody is watching or not, if you then you should do it. If it is something you should not do, then even if nobody is watching, don't do it. That's called integrity. Is it clear? Now you know that many things that you can change. So what are you going to change? Huh? You don't have to tell me. It's your inner secret, right? Because you don't want to highlight your weaknesses or mistakes that you make. But You should. Since you're aware, you should reduce it. I guarantee that you will save more money, and more importantly, you much happier. Okay, next question. Where are you?
Yeah.
Acha, there. Sorry. Sorry. I was a little bit scared. I thought you were staying. I thought you were staying now.
Thank you for your.
Hmm?
As you said, main source of happiness is our own mind, our
Yes.
own mental perspective.
Yes.
So my question is, why it is easier to control other people's mind than our own mind?
What?
Why it is easier to control other people's mind than our own mind? Because I'm seeing nowadays people are getting easily manipulated.
Why is it easier for people to control our mind, other mind, than your mind? Because people are stupid. That's a very good question. I already mentioned if somebody disturbs you and if you get angry, that means you are controlled by that person. You see, you're absolutely right. Because you're ignorant, you're stupid. That's why people manipulate you. Absolutely. This is a very important question. And why most of the people go in the wrong way, not in the right way? And why they are easily led by stupid leaders? Because they themselves have no proper knowledge. And the stupid leader will come and try to destroy you, divide you in the name of religion. This religion is bad. We follow this religion. This is the best. Practice it. These groups of people are not good. These groups of people are good. That way they play divide and rule, which the Britishers have played so efficiently. They divided so many countries. Mongolia, external Mongolia, inner Mongolia, Germany, East Germany, West Germany, right? Divide and rule. You're not able to rule when people are united, therefore they divide. Then they rule. And they're able to divide because people are stupid. If they say, I'm doing so many great things for your religion, for your country, then they think it is right.
In next session. Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you. Thank you.